Hi, everybody. So, first of all, thank you, everybody that follows me and subscribes. You guys are a blessing to me, and I'm grateful for every single one of you guys. You are helping the channel grow, and that is amazing for me. Today, I decided I wanted to talk about something. It's been a while since I do a teaching video, and just because I've seen this a lot with clients and because there's pushing around in social media, so I think it's important for us to talk about it. And the topic is freezer spells. It's very popular on TikTok, and I hate TikTok, mind you, sideways, and a whole mess of social medias. This idea of freezing a person and freezing a situation because they're doing you harm. Okay. This is when they have different derivatives of the same spell depending on who you are and what you do. You usually take the person's full name or an image of the person. Sometimes you use sigils, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you use herbs inside that. Um, um, like a bag, or it can be like a Ziploc bag, or it can be an actual jar container. And then you fill it up with some water, you throw it in the back of your freezer, you forget about it, and this person freezes itself from being around you. The spell is effective. It is effective, and I'm not going to say it's not effective. You guys can look into it. The thing is that a freezer spell is not supposed to be a long term thing. The thing is that anytime you do a spell, you are placing some of your vital life force within that spell. In other words, just as much as the person is frozen, you are frozen too. Something that I've been noticing a lot with my clients is that a situation keeps running over and over and over and over in their heads. It's like they froze the person, and now it seems like every Mercury retrograde or every like weird astrological event, the situation comes back and it seems to nip them in the butt and the energy is not frozen. It is frozen, but you're frozen with them. Okay. Freezer spells are meant to be like a temporary band aid, right? You have gotten a cut, the cut hurt, you don't know what to do with the cut, and you put a band aid over it. You put a band aid over it so that you have time to research, look for ways to reverse the situation, to heal a situation, and to move forward in a situation, and then take off the band aid and treat the wound so it doesn't bother you anymore. Okay. Um, so that being said, if you are frozen with the person, the longer the spell stays in your freezer in a cold container and whatever and forgotten, the longer you are bound to that timeline. A piece of you is bound to that timeline, and that person, place, thing, energy has access to your energy. It's a door that you have frozen with the person. In this door that they have access to your energy. And it's also a way that you're depleting, just kind of like, let's say, the cut again. Let's say you cut yourself with something that was very, very dirty. And if you don't attend to it, now it becomes infected. Now the infection gets hot. Now it's a larger infection in the area, and it doesn't only have the strip, but also the area around it is hot. Then it can go into your bloodstream. Then it can give you sepsis, and then you can freaking die from it. You see, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think that people don't really understand the concepts of spell work. Um, Magic spell energy is not created nor destroyed. If an energy is not yours, you don't have to retain an energy, but you have to do something with that energy so it doesn't stay attached to you. Okay. So when you are doing a freezer spell, I'm not telling you again because everybody is different to not do freezer spells. What I'm telling you is a freezer spell is a band aid. So once you do a freezer spell, it's your responsibility to do the research and the insight and the information so that you can close the area that person used to access your energy, heal that, and then unfreeze that situation in a safe situation, and then send them on their damn way. Okay. So if you, when you're going to unfreeze the situation, I would recommend you, if it's in a bag, it's super easy because you just open the bag and throw some sea salt on it and place it in an area that nobody's going to touch or whatever until it thaws out completely. And then whatever material you used, if it's a piece of paper with the person's name, a picture, whatever, then you have to do hex breaking ritual to break the hex that you have casted on this person. And then because you have already done the work to return that to the sender. So that's the last part that you need to release the spell so that it doesn't have access to you anymore. Again, it's a band-aid, it's not a cure. Okay. So I am so, I mean, I'm not surprised. Social media has a way of spitting out misinformation, just like this is spell work, so that you bind yourself. So you're actually helping these MFers to have access to your energy, to stay bound and have a quantum entanglement with you. The longer that shit stays in the freezer, the longer you're creating bonds of a quantum entanglements with you. And then you're going to have this asshole in in your other lives doing the same exact thing, or the spirit that is within that person shall bounce into another person because you froze that person, but you didn't freeze the entity, just the person. And now it shall bounce to the next person, then the next person, and the next person. You're going to still have the same problem with a whole mess of other people, not just that person. So I'm like, I'm wondering how many of you guys have done a freezer spell and say, I mean, this person, I froze them, but then I met this one that did the same thing and I had to freeze them and I had to freeze them. And now you have 60 jars inside your fridge because the problem wasn't fixed. All you did was put a band-aid over a wounded infected wound, and then you're wondering why the wound is spreading through your bloodstream. So again, freezer spells are fine, they're great. Sometimes you need a moment because when you're being attacked, you need a moment to breathe and catch your bearings so that you can get your mindset, do some cleansings on yourself and whatever, purge out all the ugly energy this person sent you, so that you can now do research as to how you can break this situation this person sent to you and send it back. And if you don't know how, there are many spiritual people out there, if the person's of your frequency, right, that can do it for you, but you already froze them. I would tell whoever you contract, if you're contracting somebody to like release you from a spell, jinx, curse, or whatever, that you froze them so they can tell you what to do with it. If the person doesn't know what to do with a freezer spell, I would check twice on that person. Okay. Um, but I guess I just wanted to come out here and talk about this because I am so tired of getting clients wondering why something keeps happening and happening and happening to them. And then my guides tell me freezer spell. And then I tell them, did you do a freezer spell? And they're like, yes. And now we have the problem. You see? Um, Anything that's a quick fix, know for sure, is 1,000% going to be a problem later. There is no such thing as quick fixes when it comes to spirituality. There is no such thing as quick fixes when it comes to magic. And there is no such thing as quick spells that will fix everything. So be very mindful, discerning, and do your research prior to getting involved with any person, place, thing, or energy. All right. I hope this helps you, and we'll see you the next time.